Welcome back to QOTD, friends. QOTD is the Question of the Day show, the only game show that lets you be on the air. And this is our daily recap show for Monday. You can join us right here on the show by recording your own video answers to our awesome daily questions.
And you can also join us by voting for your favorite answers to determine who makes it to the weekly Big Show Championship. That's on Thursdays at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time.
We're going to show you how you can make it on the air with us for Thursday's Big Show. But first, we're going to take a look at one of our favorite fan answers to today's question, which has to do with TV and friends on TV. And it's a whole thing.
I get it. I know exactly where you're going. But while I've got everybody on the edge of your seats, everybody take a second and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. It is your best way to get your questions of the day first thing in the morning. We will put it right in your inbox. You'll be the first one to get the question, the first person with the opportunity to answer, and that helps you make it onto the daily recap or even onto the Thursday Big Show with your awesome answer to the question of the day. Speaking of which, here is today's question of the day for Monday. If you could be part of any TV friend group, not just friends, but any friends, which TV friend group would you like to be? And it's so, because that's what makes television great. Whether you're talking about Friends, obviously, or let's just say Mrs. Maisel, which is one of my favorites, or you're talking about, I don't know, Walking Dead. Isn't it about the people as opposed to, the zombies or whatever? Right? It's really about how do we put those people together. In fact, James Cameron had this great quote about the essence of great film was getting a bunch of interesting people, putting them in a can, and then shaking the can up a lot. So it's really about the friends, ultimately, in my opinion. But which is the best?
Oh, yeah, it's a big question. It's kind of relating to, as you said, the storied history of TV is built on friend groups. So it's a very big question. And before we get into our own answers, I'm sure we have a lot of really great TV shows. We can get into one of our early favorite fan answers because we've been getting them from across the world. So what better time than now to go through one of them. Receiving the honor of Best Friends of Friends, we have Michael's answer.
My friend group would be Scooby-Doo and the Gang. Growing up, I used to watch this show religiously. You have a talking dog, you have a bunch of friends who are going to have your back, and you get to go on a bunch of adventures and defeat bad guys. So, in my eyes, what else could you want?
Trish, it's kind of shades of the screenplay that we're working on, right? Talking dog, group of friends, going on adventures.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, I think it's a super good choice. Yeah, I think it's a super good choice. But the thing about it is that the show, they bring in Scrappy-Doo, and then it just plummets. And it's just like real life, right? You have a group of friends, you're doing fun things in high school, solving mysteries, chasing ghosts, that kind of thing. And then, somebody's got to bring their kid brother along, and it ruins everything. That smart mouth, Scrappy-Doo. I think he ruined it. But just goes to the point that the friends are everything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that would have been my choice, though. I would have been OG, I want to call them the Mystery Gang, but the Scooby-Doo gang.
Absolutely.
Same.
How about you guys?
Well, I used to like to think of myself as fitting right in there with Sex and the City, but now I'm kind of bordering on Golden Girls at this stage. So I'm going to be hanging out with B. Arthur in the kitchen, I guess.
You'd be more the Betty White. Betty White just remained sexy until she was 95.
Ah, from your lips to God's ears.
That's an amazing choice. I've actually watched some of that show. I had a Golden Girls kick. It's a good show. They're fun. They're good. They're a really fun group. So it's a good choice. Oh, I'm thinking about mine. I think I'm still going to go for it. I'm going to do What We Do in the Shadows because I think, yes, they're a group of people that are very self-centered, a little mean. I think sometimes they can be a little bit short-sighted. But if you're a vampire, I feel like they're always getting up to fun adventures. And even better, one of the people in that group is just sort of takes care of anything. So you can just lounge with your drinks, have discussions, go to some fun meetings. I feel like that'd just be a very fun friend group to be a part of. And they just recently announced season 5. So it's a friendship that is continuing today.
I think that and I love that show, but they're kind of frenemies, right? It's like being like an underclassman female in college, if you don't mind me saying it like that. That was very sexist of me. But they're always like scrapping, and they're not like true friends, right? They hate each other. They're stealing each other's stuff, you know? I don't know. That's what I like. But anyway, just so long as you're a vampire, I suppose. You get that vampire stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, I could be the glue that holds everyone together, maybe, with my charming personality. Well, we have some amazing answers to this question, as you just heard. I think all of these are amazing friend groups. But today's question is not the only one you can answer. We have so far 3 other questions at people's disposal. So let's take a quick look at the answer leaders for those questions so far, starting with the top 3 answers for Friday's question, which is pick anyone living or dead to spend 2 hours cooking with. Who is it and what are you making? We have some really good answers to this question. A lot of really great choices. A good mix of like the celebrity side and the family side that I think we talked about last time.
Yeah, well, so these are the top 3 answer leaders so far. These are the folks that you voted for. They all have really interesting questions. And I guess cooking is not a euphemism in this case. So on Saturday, we had an entirely different question, sort of, which is what bucket list item are you totally going to complete this year? Listen, guys, we've got less than 6 months left. You're going to get something done. You got to start planning right now, right? So everybody has had interesting questions. People are kind of coming from all over the place. Some people have sort of practical, sort of career-wise goals and tasks that they've set aside for themselves. And some people have done like kind of the whimsical climbing mountains, jumping out of airplanes kind of stuff. But it's a good mix. And like I say, it's unusual. Maybe you're going to come up with some ideas out of this that you're going to want to add to your own bucket list. But these are the top 3 answers so far. But the week is young.
That's right. Here are the top 3 answers for Sunday's question. Should only trained service dogs be allowed on airplanes, or is any comforting pet okay? So we had a really wide range of recordings that came through on this one. People had some very strong opinions. Some people said, no, just something that's furry and cute, like a cat or a dog. And some people said, hey, if you need a comfort rooster, bring it on board.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? I want to hear like dark tales from people who've actually like flown like next to a boa constrictor or something like that.
It's like, what does a peacock smell like when it's sitting right next to you in the aisle seat and you have to scooch by it to get to the bathroom?
I'm afraid of them in the zoo.
Yeah.
They're big, man. They kick and they bite. Trust me. I know.
Scary. So, I mean, of course, amazing questions this week. I think we can all agree. But we wanted to quickly highlight another amazing answer that's not one of the answer leaders. So this one is for Friday's question. Pick anyone living or dead to spend 2 hours cooking with. Who is it and what are you making? So also receiving the distinct honor of coolest kitchen counterpart, we have Kate's answer.
I would be cooking breakfast with my grandpa who's passed away. He was my favorite person and taught me that breakfast can be breakfast, lunch, or dinner and is the best meal of the day. And so I would love to be around his kitchen table in overalls cooking breakfast together.
She's a very wise grandpa.
Yes. Breakfast all day. We love it, Kate. Thank you for your answer. Hey, fans, you've got 3 days left to submit your own answers for your very own chance to appear on our Thursday Big Show. That's our super fun finale, hosted by Keith, JJ, Reed, and I, where we go over the best of the best videos of the entire week. It's every Thursday morning at 8:30 on YouTube, Twitch, and right here at beyondtheair.com.
Yes, to record your answer for that big show, you can go to beyondtheair.com and click the orange record button under the 24/7 live game stream. You can still answer today's question or any of this week's other questions to tell us about your dream kitchen, tell us about your Choice TV friend group, and for your chance to join us on the air.
While you're over there at beyondtheair.com, did you know that there's another game that you can play called, some call it the Best and Bid game, but those that know call it the Guess and Bid game, and that is where you bid stars on the videos that you think are going to win, and when they go up the leaderboard, so do you. And if you make it up to the top, you can show up in the daily recap show, just like Mary, Zach, and friends right here. It's another great way of appearing on the air right here on beyondtheair.com.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you to our subscribers, and a very special thank you to everyone who's watched, voted, and recorded so far this week. We are QOTD and beyondtheair.com signing off, and we'll see you on TV.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. You know another good friend group? The Honeymooners, because you were talking about the history of music. I mean, the history of TV.